What's up, Louis? It's Guys here. Hope you're doing great. So in today's video, I wanted to share a nightmare situation that I've been experiencing with student accommodation property in South Africa. If you've watched this channel before, you know I'm a big fan of student accommodation and multi-let investments. But in today's video, I wanted to be real with you guys and share what has been happening with a property deal that I bought last year in November. This is not to scare anyone, but simply to be honest with you and share some of the bad things that can happen with property investments. This property was a nice and spacious 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom apartment close to CUT in Bloemfontein, Free State, and it had a lot of potential. There was a bit of work needed, nothing much. But the cool thing was the proximity to CUT as well as the central business district of Bloemfontein. So this automatically gives me an exit strategy if something happens with my student accommodation setup. The cool thing is that this is something that I'm very familiar with. This is within a sectional title. So of course there's other risk involved, but the setup is perfect. Everything worked out really well. The only issue is what I'm going to share later on in this video. So make sure you check it out until the end. It's pretty interesting and you need to be aware of this risk. We all know property is a great asset class to invest in, but the reality is that there's also downsides or risk involved with property. And of course, the higher return you can receive, the higher the risk will be at the end of the day. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. So I've learned a very valuable lesson and I'm going to share this with you guys closer to the end of this video. So I'm going to show you guys the exact deal and the numbers as well and why it ended up costing me a lot of money. With that said, I'm going to show you guys the numbers and what it actually looked like before I bought the property, and this was the predictions at the end of the day. And then just later on I'm going to share how it actually turnn out and why it has been such a nightmare situation. So I'm going to jump to the start. This is a simple student accommodation property that I bought in Bloemfontein. The property was listed for 800,000 Rand. I secured it for 620,000 Rand, so we got a decent amount of equity, around 200,000 Rand. So the rental income for this property is 18,772 Rand or basically close to 4,700 Rand per student for a single room. So it gives us an income of close to 20,000 Rand almost. So the bond cost 5,600, the levies 1,400, rates and taxes almost 1,000 Rand, commission is 10%, cleaning, water and electricity, and Wi-Fi, and of course shuttle services brings the total monthly carrying cost or holding cost of this property to 13,309 Rand. So this is the cost that I have to pay out of my pocket every month for all the expenses, and I'll get back to this just later on. So if I have to look at the numbers, it looks like a really good deal. I only had to pay bond and transfer cost of around 60,000 Rand. It was actually a bit lower than this, and the cash flow at the end of the month would have been 5,462 Rand. So with bursary student accommodation, you need to account for 2 months vacancy. Straight out of the gate, you don't receive income for 12 months, but you have expenses for 12 months. So you have income for 10 months, but expenses for 12 months. And this is where I have this tab over here that says monthly cash flow. So this property would have generated 2,888 Rand in monthly cash flow after accounting for majority of the monthly expenses. This, in my opinion, is a decent amount for the price of the property. And I'll scroll up to this part. So we also had to furnish the apartment, we had to renovate it a bit, and there's a few other costs that we had to cover, and it brings me to the total amount invested of 112,500 Rand. So if I work out the return on investment, it's a 30% return on investment on the money that I invested. That's basically the yearly cash flow divided by the money invested. So on paper, this deal seemed to be amazing. And that's why I bought it, because it makes a lot of financial sense. It generates cash flow and it's part of what I do as an investor. But here is the reality and the risk that is involved with student accommodation in South Africa. I haven't been paid for the last 8 months. And this is extremely scary if you're a new investor, and the idea is not to scare you away from student accommodation, but I want to share the risk that is involved with this investment class. So the property was bought in November. It's December, January, February, March, April, May, June, and I've still haven't been paid. And there's a possibility that we won't receive payments in July as well. So that means I've been covering this property's expenses for 8 months without a single rand of income. So that basically brings me to an estimated amount of 97,000 rand that I've been paying out of my pocket for the last 8 months without receiving a single cent. So the reality is that with student accommodation, especially with NSFAS or bursary students, there's a lot of risk involved because we deal with the government. And at the end of the day, this is something that I'm aware of. And what I've learned through this whole experience is that we should never be greedy and try and overextend ourselves financially, because if I didn't have a sufficient amount of reserves for this property, this could negatively affect your entire portfolio, and some people could go through a lot of financial strain because of something like this. And my advice to you would be to make sure that you always focus on education first and understanding what you get yourself into. Don't ever invest money in something that you're not willing to lose, because when it goes well, but when it goes bad, it goes really bad. So make sure you have a healthy reserve fund if you ever wanted to invest in property or multi-lets specifically, and make sure that you understand the exact market that you're investing in. Just to mention, another risk with student accommodation is that the supply and demand changed overnight. In previous years, there was a supply shortage of proper accredited student accommodation properties, and this year suddenly there was an oversupply of beds, and I think it was close to 3,000 beds extra in Bloemfontein. So that means the market has shifted completely, and every guy that had access to R1 million started investing in student accommodation, and now suddenly we have oversupply and not enough demand. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because the market can change quite quickly. Look at something like retail or office space. It boomed before COVID, and after COVID, it took a massive hit, and it's kind of still recovering. So the market changes. You need to be aware of the changes and be able to shift with the market and continue to invest in property, but improve on your investment strategy. If you want to learn more about the different strategies, how property works, how you can actually make money, check out my course or online coaching program. This is something that I created to help individuals that are really interested in growing their net worth and understanding how property really works. If you're not interested in buying something, check out my real estate playlist with some of the free videos that I share, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.